Hello, everyone, and welcome to the presentation, What is iNARTE, and how can it help me in my career? I'm Mike Richmond, your host for Exemplar Global's online expo focused on career pathways. The session is presented by my friends and colleagues, Gina Schulz, who is Exemplar Global's operations coordinator, and Wendy Edwards, who is our director of product and quality assurance. In this presentation, Gina and Wendy are going to take us through Exemplar Global's iNARTE brand. You'll come to understand how iNARTE certification can help engineers and technicians, in particular, grow in their careers. So Gina and Wendy, thanks for joining us here at the Expo.
Thanks, Mike.
It's good to see you guys. Let's start by telling our audience out there a little bit about you guys. So Gina, take it away. Tell our listeners who you are, what you do, and then you can turn it over to Wendy.
All right. Well, hello, everyone, and I'm Gina Schulz. As Mike said, I'm the operations coordinator at Exemplar Global and iNARTE. I have been with the company for approximately 7 years now. I am located here in the United States, in the state of Wisconsin. Wendy?
Thanks, Gina. And I'm Wendy Edwards. I'm located in New Zealand. I am the Director of Product and Quality Assurance, and this is one of the products that I love. So I'm very happy to be here today talking with you all. Thanks, Mike.
Wonderful. All right. Well, let's start with at the beginning and tell everyone a little bit about what iNARTE is, in case anybody doesn't know. So, Gina, I'm going to give this one to you.
Okay, I'd be happy to elaborate. iNARTE stands for the International Association for Radio, Telecommunications, and Electromagnetics. The iNARTE brand is currently owned by Exemplar Global. The two companies work hand in hand on a daily basis. In 1982, iNARTE, as it was called then, began as a nonprofit organization providing certification to engineers and technicians. In 2007, the company's name was changed to iNARTE. We added an I, which stands for international. This was to align with our growing presence outside of the United States. The company called RAB-QSA purchased iNARTE in 2012, and then RAB-QSA was renamed and rebranded to become Exemplar Global in 2014. Last year, iNARTE established an industry advisory panel. The panel is made up of industry experts in engineering. This panel provides thoughtful leadership, industry insights, and technical advice for the iNARTE certification programs. And over the years, over 20,000 individuals in more than 25 countries have met the rigid criteria to become iNARTE certified. In fact, last year, or within the past year, I should say, we certified an engineer in New Zealand. And I also got the privilege to certify an engineer in Bulgaria. Mm-hmm. So we truly are an international company.
That's great. And as you can see there, those are some of the fields. And there are many, but those are some of the big fields that iNARTE works in for people that are, again, technicians and engineers. Mm-hmm. And to get a little more focus on it, we do offer a lot of these certifications. I know that's a kind of a small slide. It's hard to read that, but this is kind of an overview of what we offer and our brochure as well that kind of encapsulates that as well. So Gina, I think I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to let you share now, and you can show the folks out there what that looks like on our website.
So like Mike said, there are several different certifications that we offer. The EMC EMI certification is our most popular. We also have electrostatic discharge, EMC design engineer, the military standard specialist, that is a popular one here in the United States, iNARTE product safety, spectrum management, telecommunications. And then there are two certifications here, the ESD Aerospace and Defense Engineer and ESD Defense Program Monitor certification. Those certifications, we work hand in hand with a company called RMB, who provides the training needed prior to obtaining those certifications. So every certification has slightly different qualifications that we review and look at. And within that product catalog that Mike was showing earlier, we can you would be able to search for each certification and then find the qualifications for each one.
And I think that if you go into any of those, the requirements are there, and that brochure is accessible through those individual landing pages too.
Correct. I'll just go into EMC Engineer. And right here, you can download the certification requirements. It'll also give you, the web page will also give you an overview of what the certification is all about and how to prepare for the exam. And also, we do require continuous professional development, and there's a log there that you could access to record your continuing professional development.
That's great. And that is on the, just so people know, that is on the exemplarglobal.org site, as you can see up there in the browser. So it's exemplarglobal.org, and then you can navigate out to iNARTE through resources, I believe.
Yeah, you go to our services,
right.
And then engineers and technicians.
Yep, there you go. Yep. And you can access all those certifications that way. That's great. That's great. Thank you, Gina. So, Wendy, what about certification? I know that you are deeply experienced in this field, not this field in particular so much, but certainly within conformity assessment and certification, personnel certification. And, you know, this is something that is of value. It's important. And why is it important? Why do we invest so much effort in iNARTE certification?
Awesome. Thanks for that, Mike. And you raise a really good point. It is valuable. So one of the things that I've grown to understand throughout my career, which has been in conformity and auditing and compliance and so on, is that the qualifications or the education that we get at the start of our career serve us well in the beginning. But as time goes on, actually staying current and having a way to demonstrate that you're staying current becomes more and more important. So personnel certification is, in my view, the next logical step. Having graduated from whatever qualification that you've done, the next step is to get personnel certification, because that keeps you in the loop. It makes sure that you have access to your continuing professional development, guides you in what you should be doing, makes sure that you're part of a community of others who are keeping their knowledge current. And particularly in this field where things are changing so rapidly, it becomes all the more important for those that are staying current to be able to differentiate themselves from people who perhaps just graduated 30 years ago and have just perhaps just worked in one job. So the criteria that we have here was set up by experts in the field. We work closely with professional bodies that have experts within them, and I think that this is it's the personnel certification on record. This is the one that everybody recognises and goes for.
And I think the rigor that we said, and I meant to say rigor, not rigid, rigorous, well-respected testing criteria, and that is important. That's very important, because I think that in this field in particular, you need to be able to show that you are up to date on current thinking in the field. And when you hold an iNARTE certification, that says something. It's a recognized certification. It's a brand that has been around for, as we mentioned earlier in the presentation, for a number of years, a couple of decades now. So it holds some real value. So if you're in this space, if you're in these fields, it's certainly something to consider.
Very, very much focused on practicing engineers and so on.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about career pathways, because a lot of folks that are out there who are listening to this particular session are maybe doing some of this work, some of the work that's here, or other work that may be analogous to this. You're working in a lab or you're doing research. Gosh, I've talked to people, and I in my role here at Exemplar Global, I do a lot of the content, and I talk to a lot of iNARTE people. I interview them for features, and hearing their career pathways is really interesting. People that work in radio telescopy, and people that, who are in antennas, and people that are working for the Navy and doing stuff they can't even tell me about. I mean, it's really cool, because this particular space, telecommunications, is a very, very cutting edge space with a lot of really interesting career pathways. And, iNARTE PC, personal certification, is really a key starting point for that.
I couldn't agree more. And I think one of the conversations that I've had, even just really recently, we have an industry advisory panel that we work with, and the conversations there have been fascinating. Just not everybody necessarily ends up in the niche area when they start their career, but over time, just things happen, and they kind of slowly get more and more specialized. And the value and the importance of some of these roles and this knowledge, as particularly as technology is rapidly changing, being with things like EMC, it's being incorporated more and more into everyday products that perhaps we wouldn't have thought about earlier. So I think, as you get into these fields, then having that personnel certification to ensure that you've got the knowledge that you need to perform your job well becomes even more important.
Gina, you speak to these folks, the folks that are in the iNARTE space more than anybody. You must hear a lot of the tales from folks out there and what they're doing and how iNARTE's helped them in their careers as well.
Right. And so many have said this isn't exactly what they went to university for, like their current job now. It's what they landed in, and they've learned on the job through that continuing education and learning from their peers. But I know we have iNARTE certified customers who are lab technicians and educators and professors, and some that have leveraged their certification to a secondary career like auditing or consulting.
Yep.
So it really, opens the door as they evolve in each of their fields.
That's so funny you say that, because I've heard that from a lot of folks in the auditing world as well, that they just kind of fell into it. And it's not something that they necessarily went at the beginning of their career to do. But once you've got this sort of a background, you can kind of go anywhere with it because it's very foundational. And it allows you to show that you're making a devoted effort, dedicated effort to just that, to continuing education and to advancement in your career. So it's really an interesting opportunity for folks. And any of you out there that are watching this that aren't in that aren't familiar with iNARTE for some reason, but are in these fields, certainly something for you to think about and consider. So to do that and to learn more, we've included a few things, a few resources for you. Gina, I know that you worked on one of these. I believe you worked on the Unlock Your Career Potential video. I think that was the one I saw you on as well. So there's videos on YouTube that you can find that you can look at and learn more about iNARTE and what it does. And we of course have a LinkedIn page too, where you can kind of have an opportunity to learn more about iNARTE and share your accomplishments. One of the things I should mention, it's a little bit early to mention this perhaps, but we are planning to build an iNARTE community in our community, the Exemplar Global community. We'll have an iNARTE space. We don't have it yet. It didn't launch in our first effort, but it's coming. We're working on it right now. So that's another opportunity to learn about iNARTE and share with your colleagues. So check out that and be sure to look out for that coming up soon also. So that's iNARTE. Any last words from either of you that you'd like to share with our viewers out there about iNARTE?
Just like a quick comment from me is just this the whole iNARTE scheme was built by people in practicing in the field who understood what was required, who recognized the importance of this. It's an incredibly valuable personnel certification, and I couldn't wish to have a nicer group to work with from the iNARTE advisory panel perspective. And if anybody wants to be more involved in some of the backroom stuff, we're always looking for item writers or item reviewers. So for those later in their career, reach out if you think you've got something you'd like to offer.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for that. And just to kind of focus on that a little further, here's the contact information. If you would like to learn more, participate, you can write us at info@exemplarglobal.org. You can learn more about iNARTE or any of the other sessions that we covered here at the Expo. So yeah, write us and learn more, or visit us online, exemplarglobal.org, and again, navigate out to iNARTE and learn more about it and what it can do for your career. So thank you both for doing that again. Great job, Gina. Great job, Wendy, for sharing some of your time with us this afternoon. Again, be sure to claim your CPD for this session. We have a number of sessions here at the Expo you can get CPD for. We just mentioned CPD earlier in the event. It's an important part of maintaining your certification, as well as just maintaining up-to-date information about what's going on in the industry. So get your CPD for the session. We have a live event for you at the end of the expo, a live panel, which we'll have in a couple of different time zones. So keep your eye out for that coming up here at the end of the expo. So thanks again, Gina, Wendy. Thank you. Thank you all for being there. And we'll see you next time here at the next session here at the Exemplar Global Online Expo. So
Thank you so much, Mike.